My mother and my father, who I both love very much, my father's passed on. My stepfather is in a nursing home at the moment. And my mother and my father both have a quick temper. And my dad was a very charming guy. Some of you met him. He came to Lincoln Center years ago. Very easygoing, friendly man, very sociable. But he had a temper. And you would see it in the law office sometime. I remember one time he got so mad, he just vibrated every part of him because that interrogatory wasn't filed in time or that motion wasn't done on time. And later on I realized, yeah, I can see how you can get upset about that, but man, he would get angry. And years later I realized, good way to control people. If you get angry, people will start to shut up and maybe back down, start to go with your point of view because they get afraid. You know, okay, all right, whatever, yeah, sure, let's do that. And so I learned growing up, and my stepfather's very calm and very easygoing. And he learned how to keep peace. You know, okay, yeah, let's keep peace. And consequently, I learned how to do very similar. So I was raised to sort of keep the peace, to be calm and to sort of go along. I needed to do that to survive, to deal with what I had to deal with. And then a number of years ago, I moved to New York. And I started to realize there are some not nice people in the world. I mean, it's true in the South too, but it's kept a lot more quiet and a little more, you know, and apparently I somehow avoided all those people. And came to New York and suddenly had to deal with some not nice people. And there's some very nice people here in New York. But you see, and don't get me wrong, I'm just saying that down south it was well hidden and maybe I was very sheltered. I came to New York and people were very vocal about whatever, you know, a lot of people, and I happened to come in touch with some of those people who were in my face. And I didn't really know how to deal with that. And I'm still learning how to deal with that. But what I learned years ago is that it's okay to experience my humanness, the anger, the fear, the sadness, the whatever, the lust, whatever. Yeah, the minister just said lust. Whatever is there, but not necessarily express it. Besides, you know, and when I would go home, I'd go home for 3-5 days, and the anger would start to build up. And my parents just loved to hold me to that expectation. They would introduce me to everybody. Meet my son, the minister. Here's my son, the minister. You know, my dad, Robert Epstein, would introduce me. Here, meet my son, the minister. They didn't know what to say about that. But there were expectations around that. So at home, I was expected to be calm and gentle and kind and be the minister. And I wanted to be the example. Also, you know, there is a little stigma about being a minister. And then get on the spiritual path, which I did 20 years ago. And so now that natural, easygoing, let's keep the peace, now I have the stereotype of being a minister on top of it. And you know how people hold minister, oh, he's supposed to be, you know, or she's supposed to. And a few years ago I realized, you know what, I can't go home and hold in all this anger and frustration. It's not good for me, and it's coming out one way or the other, I'm sure. You know, and little subtle ways. You know, we think we can hide it. It comes out. So about 5 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago, I went home with my new attitude. Been driving 9 hours on the road. 9 hours on the road. I come home. By the way, I asked my mother yesterday if I could share the story. She said, you can tell anything you ever want to tell. You don't need my permission. She's a cool lady. Isn't she a cool lady? But she does have a temper. So 9 hours of driving, I go in right away to subject to my stepfather. You know, I've been handling the nursing home, the rehab stuff. What are we going to do? Is he going to come home? Is he going to get care, come in and take care of him? Is he going to stay there? Is he going to go somewhere else? La, la, la. I get home, that subject starts coming up, and I'm not liking what I'm hearing from my mother. My anger is starting to, and she can hear it in the tone of my voice. Now, I'm controlling it now. I'm just trying to have a reasonable conversation, but my temperature is rising. And like no one else can, my mother looks at me and puts a big smile on her face, and she says, "Is that what meditation is doing for you?" Like only a close relative can do. She would never say that to anybody else, except her minister son. And I got so angry. And I expressed it. I said, I am going to get in the car right now, turn around, and go all the way back home. Oh. She got all quiet. She got all calm. I threw in a few choice words in that too, I'm sure. None of which I'll repeat right now. But her eyebrows raised up. The minister's son. She quieted down. She became receptive. Started to talk sweetly. I went down the hall, down the hall into what used to be my stepfather's apartment. And she wanted to know, are you okay? Are you upset with me? But something I'm learning, the first time you might share calmly, like pass me the salt, that someone is breaking a boundary. And then the next time, you might express some anger to really set the boundary, that maybe that's okay to do. Someone quoted Albert Ellis to me saying, anger is a frustration of assertiveness. Something of that nature. So being authentic means you don't always show up nice. Heaven knows Jesus Christ wasn't nice all the time. He goes into the temple with a whip of cords and chases the money changers out of that temple. Now, can you imagine people sitting at their desks, they're making money, and they got all this money going on in there, and he drives them out of that temple. He didn't go in and say, hey, boys and girls, let's pack up and go. He must have whipped that cord. And he wouldn't heal everybody either who wanted to be healed. There was a lady who wanted healing. He didn't heal her. Being spiritual doesn't necessarily being nice. Being who you are, accepting all of who you are, feeling worthy in yourself. There's healing. When I asked my mother yesterday, can I share that story? She said, go ahead, Justin. I love it when you're feisty. That's a new side that she doesn't see all the time. I like it when you're feisty. Well, my mom's going to like me a whole lot when I come home now. Why hold it in? Draw a boundary or two.